Oh, I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah.
All right, go, Gox, go.
Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. It is Thanksgiving, where we get to gobble down America's favorite actor.
Gobble down, I love that.
Autumn Shank.
Gobble, bitch.
We are celebrating
I should repost, if I can find it, I should repost our Thanksgiving
That
episode.
movie. We should do Thanksgiving 3, since they never made 2.
Oh my god, that movie is so great.
Oh.
When he dresses up like the dad and they don't know.
Hey, Dad!
Well, now they got the Thanksgiving slasher movie's coming out now.
It's not better than Thanksgiving.
Oh,
hey, Gogs, have you seen Thanksgiving?
I have not seen Thanksgiving.
Oh my god, do yourself a favor and watch it in between this show and next show. It's so fun.
Okay.
Sorry,
is it a bit?
What did we?
No.
What did we watch?
We watched a movie about a Finch called Finch. It's really about a robot, and
it wasn't about
Tom
Finch
Hanks
at all. Finch is a bird, isn't it?
No, Finch is a bird. It's a
sequel to American Pie.
It's basically Castaway.
Explain. Hold on. I have to further explain. Sean, what is that? What do you mean by that?
There's a character named Finch in American Pie.
Oh yeah, he was Shitbrick, right?
Yeah,
Shitbrick. That's correct.
Yeah.
It's a shared universe. This is
my thesis for this, and I texted this to TJ last night, kind of a version of it. Tom Hanks has reached his Rooster Cogburn era where he's just doing the same performance. Like, oh, it's Tom Hanks. He's kind of grumpy and mean, but he's not too mean because he's still Tom Hanks. And I'm like,
no, he's still lovable.
He's grumpy. He's funny.
Boring.
He's not like like the shithead with the heart of gold, like Clint Eastwood in fucking, I don't know, so many latter Clint Eastwood films. I was gonna say
Soldiers on a Train.
It's not like he's got fucking heart of gold and Unforgiven, but like, you know what I mean? It's not like he's got this extremely gruff exterior, but there's something underneath. He's just kind of mad, and he's still like a good person.
He's a bit of a curmudgeon.
I think we'll have a lot to talk about in this movie. I feel like this is one of those movies where I understand what they're laying down, but I feel like they needed to commit more to something. I don't know. Like,
it's a movie that, like, it's one of these fucking, like, oh, did you see Finch? It's like, possibly, because I've seen the same movie 45 times. You know what I mean?
No, we'll get into it. We have a whole lot to discuss.
It's Castaway.
It's only a 3-man banger this week because Alec is a corporate slave.
Oh.
No, it's because he's got to work because it's fucking holiday week.
It's wage slavery.
I'm sure he's fucking up to his fucking asshole and fucking work. I'm sure, like, this is probably the worst. I imagine, like, the holiday season for Alec is probably, like, the worst fucking time.
Oh, he probably hates Thanksgiving now, and that's the worst holiday to hate.
Now until New Year's is probably a tough.
Oh my god. Bro. Yeah, because I mean, you figure like Thanksgiving dinner obviously is like a big, but like Christmas dinner is big too. It's like, you know what I mean?
Super Bowl,
and then people just need to eat every day.
That's unfortunate.
That's true. That's a good way to put it. I never really thought about that before.
The Super Bowl is bad too.
He's like always in demand.
That is true.
Oh, they were saying, like, Alec was sharing stats with me, like, when the Ravens would go on a playoff.
Insane.
Ravens playoff runs, like, anytime they've been in the playoffs, like, all of a sudden they're killing it every week.
Well, yeah,
like,
when I saw work at Target, like, you would be getting mashed, like, right before the game and maybe right after, depending on the outcome of the game, but it was fucking dead for that 3 hours whenever they were playing.
Crime drops in the city, no one's doing anything.
I feel like Sean or Alex said it, but like, I always thought it was weird when you go to like the grocery store on Sunday and somebody's like all in Ravens gear, but it's like game time. And it's like, why are you here? Like, what?
I'm just repping.
Like,
doing this new shit. It's called flexing.
My team is legitimately like horrendous to watch, and I still like refuse to miss a game. Like, I don't know how, like.
And the guy's rocking the fucking J.A. Lewis jersey, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, all right, bro, it's 2017, like, fucking.
Hang it up.
I wish I still had my Vinny Testaverde Ravens jersey. Oh, this dude's hitting a pan, dude. Hell yeah.
Dude, it's vacation week. We're good.
Oh, my goodness.
Dude, this is sick. All right, anyway, what'd you all watch this week? I'm going to start off with fucking The fucking
Alec.
stoner over here. Hey, Gogs, what did you want?
How was Half Baked, dickhead?
Yeah.
One pen pull does not a stoner make. But I'm going to do more. So,
do you remember, speaking of pens, do you remember when we went to that wrestling show? Gogs, I'm pretty sure you were there because you got lost buying a beer for 3 hours. Fucking Kobe had that vape pen, and like I thought he was gonna die on the way home. He's gonna be like the first person to overdose on weed.
I'd never seen anything like that in my entire life.
I've never seen somebody so stoned. It was like miraculous.
And I thought he was coming with credentials.
He had a great time, though.
I thought he had like. I thought.
You think he knows that?
I don't think he would have. I would have thought it wouldn't have snuck up on him as it appeared. It was either intentional or snuck up on him, and sneaking up on him.
He smoked like a 12-pack of pens though, like a whole ass like office bag of pens.
Yeah, like a big dozen.
But think you gonna get home okay? Yep.
All right, this is entertaining to all of 3 people here.
Kobe's
but anyway,
Kobe's
the best, by the way. Kobe rock.
Yeah, Kobe's a good man. I watched 2 things. In tradition with the show. One of them I kind of watched, and one of them I did watch.
Oh my God.
The one I did watch was When Evil Lurks.
Oh yeah, we talked about this.
I really enjoyed it.
Remember last week? I think I said it's one of the best movies that came out this year. Like I absolutely loved it.
It's in my top 10 without question.
Very nice.
It is,
I was a little iffy the way though you texted me. I was like, I think it might have turned you off because how gross it is. And
I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that you oversold the grossness. It's gross.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's gross.
Okay.
And it's violent. It's more like implied though. Like
I think it's the
like
violence,
compared to Evil Dead Rise.
Children is why it's and what happens to children.
Yeah, that stuff is it's effing horrific. Right?
I mean, I feel like that's what pushes it over the top.
Yeah. I think, kind of like what you said before, the way that it's sort of setting the table for a bigger world, and it's almost like, the more I was reflecting on it, like, it's almost setting the table for like a Bloodborne-esque or like some sort of From Software kind of apocalypse, where it's like this quiet, weird demon apocalypse where only chosen people can stand up to it, and they are in short demand, or they can't. And then I was like, I mean, the movie's cool. It's kind of like, it's not quiet. It's like very tense, and it's
I would say it's quiet. It's small in scale. Really.
It's very small, right? Yeah, you're dealing with this one cat, and you. So I watched the polar opposite film for film number 2. So this is why I want to get this all out there.
You really liked When Evil Lurks.
Oh, When Evil Lurks was great because you just you picked it all up through context, and you understood the entire world through.
Sean, you got to watch this movie.
20 sentences of dialogue, and the 20 sentences of dialogue, it's on Shudder.
Okay.
I think I put it on the Plex too.
Okay.
But it's not the 20 sentences of dialogue you get are not like, and that is when the demon showed up. No, it's just like everyone sort of lived through this shared experience, and you're just catching their glimpses of it, and then you can put the whole picture together, right? And it took me a second to really kind of figure out what I was seeing from like the rules of the world perspective. Like I was like, okay, so there's this thing that's looks like it wants to erupt and make a new demon, but it's causing kind of generalized madness. Like it's almost like it's like a psychosis, but it's really, it's like the demon is, the gestating demon is sending out basically bad shit to help speed the process along, right? And specifically tormenting this one guy to make him do what it wants to be done to bring it to a head, right?
Right.
That's the whole point.
Yeah. Also, I think that it's implied that the thing is not just a normal that it's literally like the Antichrist that comes out. Like
so I wanted to ask about that.
They refer to it as the ultimate evil at one point, and I don't know. You know what I mean? Like,
but this can't be the first time this has happened, right?
Well, no, but they seem to imply that whatever this demon is like more powerful.
The worst of all of them, maybe.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, it almost doesn't matter. It kind of is beyond the point of the movie, but it's still kind of cool.
This movie to me, like, this is not a slight against the movie. This is how much I enjoyed the movie. Like, you remember when they did that tester for Sin City with
Josh Hartnett.
With Josh Hartnett. And,
what was it called? The Final Kiss, whatever it was.
Something like that.
Big Fat Kill? No.
No, Big Fat Kill was a big thing. This was a little.
It was based on like one of the like little shorts,
like the backups, right?
Yeah, it was like 2 pages.
It wasn't A Dame to Kill For. It wasn't a Big Fat Kill.
I can't remember the name of it. The Long Goodbye. No, that's a
something.
movie.
Whatever it was.
Anyway,
right?
Something like that.
Well, you know how you saw that and you're like, "Fuck, I want more of this."
Mm-hmm.
That's how this whole movie felt. Like once this movie was over, I was like, I would fully support.
The Customer Is Always Right is the name of that story.
That's
we were way off.
But I would fully support like more movies in this universe because I need to know more.
Yeah.
Like I'm desperate to know more about, especially with like the people that are trained to deal with the demons. They're just like hinted at or not like, and everyone's so like. They're like no selling all this, like it's so not run of the mill, but it's like
part of life. It's
right.
Like the way
it's
it's
like
implied, and the fact that like they say basically like I think the exact line is like the age of God is over, like churches are over because like they basically learned that like demon possession is real, and it's just like it's like something that Sean and I have talked about through, and we've all talked about it, but I feel like Sean and I always come back to this. That there's like certain movies where like the implications of what people discover in the film would break all of reality, but they never like a lot of horror movies don't ever really address that. And I think this movie is really interesting because it does. Because like the implication is that like, oh, people just know that there's fucking demons around, and it's just like, well, it's just part of life now. So we just kind of have to like deal with it is kind of wild. And the fact that
it's like how we have to deal with the fact that it's 115 degrees in fucking December and sandwiches cost $17. Like those are all horrifying things. We just we've accepted it.
It's all part of a quiet apocalypse. Like this is like up there with like.
That's a good way to put it. It's really what it is, a quiet apocalypse. Like I agree with you. I would love to see more in this world, but at the same time, I kind of hope I just leave it alone.
It always
I think it's a masterpiece.
We always talk about people not reacting to shit. It always makes me think of Ernie Hudson in The Crow because he's like very concerned that the dead are walking around town.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
he's like, whatever.
I do have a question though.
Nothing against that walking against the wind shit.
Onions make you fart. Yeah,
well, I mean that
is a good ass movie though.
That is a great movie. I never even got to say goodbye. You're gonna have to forgive me for that.
Yeah, so
I do have a question though, because is the implication that there is no God, or is the implication that all of the houses and rituals of God up until this point were false? Because that's what I got out of it.
I mean, I think you could read it either way. I don't think they give you enough information to go
like the one woman who went out to become like a demon hunter, like explicitly said that her and her husband set up a church as like charlatans, right?
Right.
And then when the demons showed up, they couldn't do anything about it, and everybody realized, oh, you guys are just peddling bullshit, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, even if God exists, if he ignores this, and like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's one of the, the movie doesn't really, it's a fascinating idea, but they doesn't really give you enough to go off of. But just the line
I want more.
That like the age of God is over is kind of fucking, that's just a wild ass thing to say, especially in the context of the movie. I don't know. Like, I said it in my Letterboxd review, like the movie has a very like McCarthy feel. I always go back to Cormac McCarthy, probably because I love the guy so much, but like it feels just like oppressively nihilistic and, you know, num. That's I love that shit.
But like people are still like living their lives. Like people are out there still
it's like Sean
doing
said,
shit
because you have to. Like life just goes on. You know what I mean? Like
gas is $4.50 a gallon. Yeah, and like I mean, you're not going to drive. Like if there's demons outside,
there's demons.
Go to work.
And no, I get it. You should watch it, Sean. I think you dig it. But I did not think it was. It's like from a like who they kill and how they kill standpoint. It's a lot more offensive and grotesque than Evil Dead Rise, but from an actual visual on-screen.
What do they bomb a bunch of hospitals in Gaza?
No, nothing that.
Oh, nothing that offensive.
Nothing that offensive.
No. Okay.
But it's like, it's gross. It's not evil. Evil Dead Rise is grosser though. Like from a
Evil Dead Rise is grosser, but it's also like more of like a movie.
I still gotta
like
see
this
that.
It's more
super good.
Evil Dead Rise is great. And
I don't know that Fede Alvarez Evil Dead or whatever fucking put me off that name for a while.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. I didn't like that either.
Evil
Dead Rise is great, and honestly, the two movies remind me a lot of each other because that movie also, one of the reasons I liked Evil Dead Rise so much is when the demons come, when they accidentally bring the demons into the world, they're just like, oh, you're fucked. Like, there's no like, oh, we gotta find the magic spell to bring them back to hell. Oh no, they're just out, and you're fucked, so you better just try to survive. So in that sense, the two movies are definitely similar. And again, I liked both movies, but I feel like When Evil Lurks is more of like a thinking man's movie. Like I like Evil Dead Rise.
Evil Dead Rise is much more like spectacle.
It's a lot more action.
It's the rare Tim Stambaugh Senior and Junior double up. It's scary as hell, and you got to think about it.
Yeah,
it's the whole like what I used to say.
It's aliens versus aliens.
It's Dark Knight Returns versus Watchmen. Like, they're both great, but one's a little bit more easy to digest than the other, I don't know.
The other thing
it's Alien versus Aliens. Yeah, that's always a good
Yeah, there's a movie.
No, that's a film.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Alien versus, it's just one alien versus two aliens.
Yeah.
Or who's going to win?
I mean, technically Alien versus Predator is Alien versus Aliens, if you think about it.
Depending on what planet they're on, I guess.
Did you all hear? Yeah. Did you all hear that the Prey 2 sequel is actually in pre-production right now?
Oh, good.
Or
is there another Alien movie? Like,
is there another
coming out
one?
shortly?
Oh, God.
There's another there's like a Cowboy Predator or something, right? Some shit like that.
Cowboy Predator.
No, I think the Prey sequel is going to be in Japan. I think that all the rumors were actually true. But anyway,
so that Mad Lib thing that guy did was correct.
Well, no, I mean people were making memes with that Japanese guy that we all like that's in all the movies. Not Ken Watanabe. No, the other guy. I can't think of his fucking name. If I showed you his picture, you'd be like, oh, that guy. Anyway, what other movie did you watch, guys?
The other movie I watched was the polar opposite of When Evil Lurks.
It was the Polar Express.
It was
When Good is out in public.
Oh. I watched. Nice. I watched Mission Impossible.
You're stupid.
Dead Reckoning.
Oh yeah. You said it was
I had no idea. When you texted, I had no idea what the fuck you're talking about. Like, that's the truck from that fucking George Romero movie.
Right. Like, so this movie sucks. And here's why. I was texting I was texting the group about this, and I'm just going to reiterate for those
Have you watched
who aren't
the
part
other
of our text chain.
MI films?
I've watched some of them. I don't know if I've seen Ghost Protes or Rogue Notes.
Rogue Notes. Those weren't bad. Did you watch the last one?
I'm actually of the opinion that I've not seen a good Mission Impossible film. So,
have you seen I always go back to this, and I think
I've never seen the third one
8,000 times. Watch the third one with Philip Seymour
The Brad
Hoffman.
Bird one. I'm gonna hurt that one. Yeah,
I think it's
that's Brad Bird.
Abrams, isn't it? Oh, it is.
No, yeah,
oh.
It's Abrams, Wu, Bird, and then I think before he did like all the rest.
Watch the third one. It's fucking awesome. Yeah,
I'll give it a whirl, but 2 sucks. 1 sucks by proxy. I don't know whether I saw Rogue Notes or Ghost Protes, which is the one where they fight in a Carvana vending machine.
That's
the fourth one?
That's the fourth one. That's Ghost. Which one's before? Is it Ghost?
Oh, no, Ghost
I don't know. Those 2 movies.
Yeah, I forgot there's like 10 of them, yeah. It's the one after 3.
So this movie takes place. So this is how I described it.
Guys, pause real quick. I hate how sequels refuse to number themselves. I fucking hate that. It's just like, let's give it a name. Like,
it makes it evergreen then, because now it's awesome. I don't know what order any of these movies go in.
That's exactly why they do it. Yeah. It's so fucking stupid. Just give it the number. Anyway, sorry guys.
That's fine. So, it's one of those. It's a smart movie for dumb people. It's I said it was like Tom Clancy's Transformers. or Fast and the Furious for stay-at-home moms. It is an exposition factory. Like literally the entire but When Evil Lurks is show don't tell. This is just fucking tell.
What Kevin tell.
This is like if Kojima was allowed to make a movie. This is just talking.
How dare you?
Stuff happens in some of those games.
Yeah, stuff happens sometimes, but not for 30 minutes when you have to take a piss and you can't pause.
You know how badass a Kojima movie would be? You know how
fucking impenetrable it would be?
Yeah, I love it.
That's what makes it good.
Yeah, exactly.
If it's going to be confusing, if it's going to be stupid, it better be confusing or whatever.
Correct. The Lale Lule Low.
Right. Metal Gear.
I won't sit here and listen to Hideo Kojima slander.
Wait a minute.
You don't have
Big
to
Boss? No, that's just regular Boss. Oh no, Boss is a girl.
Which state of matter is this? Solid, liquid, gaseous, non-Newtonian snake.
Yeah, they replaced his arm with the other guy's arm, and now he thinks he's him. I don't know.
Yeah, now he's he's Turbo Weasel now, or whatever that guy's name is.
He's like the snake's hair transplant.
Yeah, it's like, what was that movie where the guy got an arm, a free arm, and then it
Idle Hands.
Murders? Idle Hands. So anyway,
I thought you meant body parts. That's also
I think the same premise.
It's basically the same premise.
So anywho, Timmy Cruise is back and he's doing stunts, and it's got Haley Atwell's Natty Cannons, and
Big fan of that.
There's an AI that is doing stuff.
Is it called Winter Mute?
No, I wish. If they got into a deck and gone and fought Winter Mute, I'm here for it. I'm 100%. This whole thing could have happened in cyberspace. I've been like, hell.
What was the other part of Winter Mute? There was two parts of Winter. It was Winter Mute and Neuromancer, of course.
Yeah.
No, but yes.
But this takes place in our plane of existence, and it's
that's where we live.
Right, and it's just people talking, and it's Simon Pegg, who I love, and it's Tom Cruise, who's a great actor, granted, and a madman, and it's Ving Rhames, and they're just talking the whole time.
It's kind of hilarious that Ving Rhames, the only movies Ving Rhames are in anymore are the fucking Mission Impossible movies. He's been in all of them.
I'm gonna hack the train, Ethan Hunt. And it's just stupid as hell. Like, the whole movie is AI gone rogue is bad. Have to get special magic key to undo AI. Everyone's betraying everyone. Carrie Elwes.
I'm already bored.
Awful. Yeah.
The nightclub that the AI maybe owns or operates, because they're in the nightclub looking around and all the graphics on the wall look like Geist. But that's what the AI the entity looks like.
That's such a terrible
walk in there,
villain.
They're like, oh, is this the AI's nightclub?
Yeah, are you supposed to crash a motorcycle into the AI? Like, that doesn't seem like it fits into the Mission Impossible ethos.
Mission Impossible movies are about people that he can punch. Like, what's he supposed to punch a hard drive?
Well, there's a guy. There's a guy who maybe was part of the earlier lore or whatever.
You guys ever see that meme where it's just like, I'm not fucking scared of AI. I'll just do this, and it's literally a guy spraying a computer with a hose.
Fucking Mantis is in it.
That sounds so bad, dude.
It's
it's a part one.
Dude, the last one was really frustrating, and I don't know if you saw it. I know TJ saw it.
No.
Because there's a good movie in there that they tease you with.
Yeah.
And then don't do it, twice.
Yeah, there's some good stuff in that last one, but you're right, Sean. It is just a convoluted mess.
This is a 2 hour and 43-minute part one.
Ooh, that's like Blade Runner 2049.
This Denis Villeneuve, Dune-esque, grandiose, and whoever the guy is who directed this don't have the chops.
I think it's that
2 hours and
guy.
43 minutes.
I think it's the guy Sean's talking about, because I think he's directed all of them after 3.
And Way of the Gun.
Well, that movie rules.
I think you gave it a 3.
No, it was terrible. Yeah, we all hated it. What are you talking about?
This movie, he was the writer for Edge of Tomorrow. That movie slaps. But this movie it doesn't need to be this long. it makes leaps.
Did I just call him Ralph McQuarrie, by the way? That's the artist. It's Christopher McQuarrie.
It makes leaps in logic that. Also, I was half in the bag and talking the whole time, and I still got the movie. So the action sequences are fun. They're fine. I heard that Tom Cruise legitimately launched a dirt bike off like a mountain in Chile like 15 times to get whatever shot he wants to because he's a maniac. But like,
yeah,
it ain't worth it.
Did I ever tell you guys my pet theory on that?
What's that?
On Tom Cruise doing all these insane stunts?
Trying to prove he's not gay?
Yeah, but
mission accomplished.
So that's the real Mission Impossible. No, he is a closeted man who is just in agony because he's lived alive for 50 years.
He's trying to kill himself?
I think he's trying to kill himself in a movie.
Oh, he's trying to like Randy the Ram and like go out in the movie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because how Scientology is. Like, they're not going to let him die. So he's going to do something
stupid. I thought he was in
stupid.
charge of Scientology.
No. Well, actually, he's apparently not the favorite son anymore. Will Smith is. So that's a whole thing.
Oh, that cuck?
Yeah.
Well, good for him. Anyway. Watch Edge of Tomorrow. That movie rules. Don't watch Dead Reckoning. Watch.
Yeah, I wasn't planning on it. Like Sean said, when you texted about it, I forgot that movie even came out. It
was sprung upon me non-consensually. It happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, the movie R-worded you.
It did. Like it took its time.
So Christopher McQuarrie only works on Tom Cruise movies. I'm looking at his filmography.
Maybe he's owned by Tom Cruise.
Also, another reason not to like this guy is that he seems to have worked on almost every what's his name? Pedo guy Bryan Singer movie. Because he wrote The Usual Suspects, he wrote Valkyrie, he wrote I think so he just did 2, but that's enough.
Bryan Singer's Deposition.
Working with Bryan Singer. Oh, he did Jack the Giant Slayer. That was also Bryan Singer. So yeah, this guy's like Bryan Singer's fucking buddy.
Never
so
saw
he's
it.
Probably a scumbag. No one saw it, Sean. Come on. He also wrote The Mummy, the Tom Cruise Mummy, of course, which.
Oh yeah, that wasn't good.
About that. No. The only thing that was good about that movie was our girl, Sophia Boutella.
Yeah.
And she is great, but that movie's stuff.
Would smash.
Oh my god, yeah. I find her insanely attractive. Anyway, anything else, guys?
No, that's it. Sean.
I watched 2 things.
2? Wow, that's a big
Thank
week
you.
for Sean.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
That's a lot for a guy who hates movies.
Oh, they're so bad.
They are awful.
One of the movies I watched was a TV show. So
nice.
I watched the whole limited series Painkiller about the Sacklers.
Oh, how was that?
Oh,
it was good. People didn't like it because it was really over the top. But like, if you don't want a really over the top, you can just watch the Alex Gibney documentary, Crime of the Century, which is excellent.
But I was hoping it was about that 90s first-person shooter computer game.
I think it's from the 2000s. Made by People Can Fly. Also the people that made Bulletstorm.
Bulletstorm.
Hell yeah,
Bulletstorm.
Yeah. Find me Bulletstorm or go to hell.
It was good, but it made me feel really old because now it's like actors that we like kids are adults. Like it's David Duchovny's daughter and one of John Ritter's sons, and like it's definitely worth a watch. The other thing I watched was The Crow.
What's that on? I saw
Netflix.
I saw it Netflix. Okay.
How'd The Crow hold up?
The Crow is even better, I think. Every year that goes by.
Funny. We just talked about it. And
That's why I was talking about it.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's a movie that like before we started the show, I was like, I don't think that movie's very good. I think it's really overrated. And then we watched City of Angels, which I loved, and you guys also loved, even though you'd seen it years ago and hated it.
I did not. I've always loved The Crow, and then I hated
the City of Angels. Yeah,
I hated City of Angels when I walked out of the theater, but upon rewatching it, I loved it.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's not a young man's Crow.
Iggy Pop line, call, bird dick.
No, fuck you, bird dick. No, call, bang, fuck, I'm dead. That's
big. That's
big time.
Big Business or whatever his name is.
Top Dollar.
Top Dollar.
Big Business, the Oi band. No, man, the movie fucking rules.
Does Candyman have a name in that movie?
He does. It's Griggs, I believe, or something. Griggs, some kind of vaguely black 90s name. No, that movie's excellent. Born out from Brandon Lee, but it's such a well written, and I've a million times tried to pick up those graphic novels, and there's something about James O'Barr's art style that turns me off immediately, and I don't know. This is gonna get really in the weeds. I don't know if it's his figure construction. There's something about the way he draws I just don't like, and I can't put my finger on it. I know you say he's also an asshole.
Yeah, I had a bad experience with him when I was 11, but that sounded.
Speaking of Bryan Singer.
No, not. It wasn't anything like that. No, well, one of the things is he admittedly, so I'll give him a lot of credit for one thing, James O'Barr, that is. So he completely self-published that comic, back in the fucking, 80s, which is, unheard of.
Yeah.
And he drew it and wrote it, but he wasn't, an artist, so, a lot of his stuff is literally just, traced.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't that good of an artist.
Oh, okay.
So, I think that's why, when you go back and look at it, a lot of the stuff looks kind of wonky and doesn't match. It's because, there's splash pages where he literally would just, he was, tracing, Iggy Pop and stuff like that. I don't know.
Instead of a remaster, it's begging for, if Chris Bacalo just went back and drew it, the whole thing, I would be into it. You know what I mean?
Or, a Jay Lee or a Alex Lee.
Oh, Jay Lee in his, Inhumans period, Jay Lee, with all that ink wash and shit.
Yeah.
You meet Jay Lee over Jim Lee every day, twice on Sunday. But
I met Jay Lee at this last year's Baltimore Comic Con.
He's from Virginia, isn't he?
Nobody was at his table. I couldn't believe it. The guy was a fucking legend. I know. Anyway.
But yeah. Crow
that's
rules.
Awesome, though. I need to rewatch The Crow. I think that movie, honestly, I know that movie still lives in the popular consciousness even today, which I like to see.
Speaking of, it's slated for release next year.
The one with Bill Skarsgård?
Yeah, apparently it's in the can.
It's probably going to be bad.
Yeah. It's unnecessary. It doesn't need to be done.
There are 2 Crow movies we've approved of. One of them is The Crow Easter Rising, The Story of Jesus, and the other one is Crowbocop. And if it's not one of those 2, it's not going to be good.
Dude, we really need Crowbocop. The world needs Crowbocop.
Teagles, tell us about Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah, I watched 2 things. One is a movie, and one is a Netflix original TV show. I watched all of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. I literally liked it so much, I watched it all in one sitting.
Is it just a rehash of, the first book? I'm not super familiar with how the books are structured, but, okay.
Nope. No, and I guess it's kind of a spoiler, because, I mean, I feel like it's definitely, they didn't advertise it this way, and the first episode feels like the movie, and you're like, oh, they're just kind of redoing the original story. But I had my suspicions right away, because the story, the show is called Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. It's not Scott Pilgrim versus the world. So I was like, that's interesting. So it's not a retelling of the movie or the comics at all. It is basically a meta contextual sequel to Scott Pilgrim. It is I don't want to give too much away, because it is super clever, but it's kind of a what if things happen differently in the original story, and where does that go from there? And I think it's really
a soft reboot.
No, it's not a reboot, because it actively acknowledges what happens in the movie.
Is it alternate timeline?
You gotta watch it. It's
okay.
No. You gotta watch it.
I was kind of surprised they got Brie Larson back.
They got everybody, and that's another thing that's great.
But she's
the whole cast,
huge now.
They got Chris Evans. I mean, Chris Evans is amazingly huge.
Yeah.
But it's really, really good, and they got the whole voice cast back, which is great. It makes the characters feel really familiar. Yeah. And I mean, all of us on the show fucking love that movie, and I love the movie. I love the comics. And I think that this is one of those things where I feel like in a lot of ways, if you go back and read the comics, Brian Lee O'Malley, the guy that fucking wrote Scott Pilgrim, he published those things in manga format. They are literally in old manga format. And if anything, I would feel like Brian Lee O'Malley wanted Scott Pilgrim to be an anime and not a live action movie, but it was published in America. So it's going to be a live action movie. And I feel like in a lot of ways, this is like such a great, they have so much time now to focus on all the characters. And again, I don't want to spoil anything because again, it's very clever, but this focuses a lot on the side characters, which I think are really great. You get to focus more time with the evil exes. It's really funny. It's really sweet. Like, it's all the things that are good about the Scott Pilgrim, just like the whole oeuvre of like why you like Scott Pilgrim. There's a lot of little Easter eggs. And I was talking to Anthony about this earlier today. And I think like, we are kind of in a nostalgia, like fucking, we're on like a fucking we're tired of it, right? We're tired of all these things where it's just like, hey, remember this? And like Scott Pilgrim is amazing because it's able to be referential, but the reference isn't the whole story. Like the reference is just like at one point there's a scene in the future and the door to get into this big vault looks like a Game Boy, but like it's not like they even talk about it. Like it's just there. It's just an aesthetic. It's a funny aesthetic choice. You know what I mean? And I don't know, the thing has a lot of heart. I think the animation is amazing. Like the animation is great. It looks fantastic. Like the fight scenes in it look great. The soundtrack is great. Like it was just, I don't know, it was a joy. It really was. And there's the tease that there might be a season 2 at the end of the first season. I couldn't. I mean, I'll probably watch it again. I love it. I absolutely
for sure gonna watch it.
Was it Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix original.
It's on the Plex there.
Yeah, I put it on the Plex.
Quick question: has anybody watched that Boys spin-off series?
I heard it's really good. I've not heard it was
good. I haven't watched it. I haven't watched that, or I haven't watched any of Invincible season 2 yet. But yeah, Scott Pilgrim it's great, and I have a huge fondness for like that whole thing. I mean, again, we've talked about the movie 1,000 times, but like, and I love the comic books. I've rebought the fucking comic books like 5 different times. I just bought like the newest edition that they put out. It's actually quite nice. I highly recommend checking that out if anybody hasn't gotten the comics. There's 3 big volumes and they're not quite manga size. They're a little bigger and they're all in color and looks great. Highly recommend it. But it's awesome. Like it scratches the same like itch that the movie does. Like that movie is a big comfort movie for me. Like there's just something, I don't know, it just takes me back to like, it makes me, Scott Pilgrim is nostalgic in the sense again, where I feel like it captures a certain energy of being like a fucking kind of a 20-year-old that doesn't really know what to do with his life. And I don't know.
When you're still hopeful that something good might happen before it inevitably doesn't.
I mean, exactly. And actually the show is kind of about that too, which is kind of great. I loved it though. I cannot say enough good things. Netflix is kind of hit or miss, but like I feel like lately their like animated projects have been like absolutely incredible. Like Cyberpunk was amazing. Apparently this thing that Gogs was sending me, I haven't watched it yet. This Blue-Eyed Samurai is supposed to be really cool.
I gotta watch that.
I started watching Pluto, which is really fucking good.
The Godzilla anime was Netflix original, wasn't it?
Zero. Yeah, that was okay.
The animated series, I liked it.
There's 2 of them. There was one that was called like Monster something or other, and they had a couple of different Godzilla anime. Anyway, Scott Pilgrim's great. 10 out of 10. Watch it like immediately. The other thing I watched, and it was funny, I was waiting for Gogs to say watched it, because Gogs and I have very similar Shudder viewing habits. So, I love Shudder, and I love Shudder originals, but man, they don't hit them all. I watched this movie called, oh shit, I already forgot the title. A Wounded Fawn is the title of this movie.
It doesn't come up in my...
Absolutely horrendous.
It's like Killing of a Sacred Deer.
That movie rules, though.
Watch your fucking mouth. That movie is great. That movie is a fucking masterpiece. I love
just based on title alone.
No. A Wounded Fawn is so it's like this is a guy that thinks he's being like intellectual and weird and like trying to do like the folk horror, elevated horror thing, but like it does not work. So basically it's about this guy who's a serial killer, and before he kills people, he like sees this big owl, and then it somehow ties into like Greek mythology. It was awful.
Or like that robot owl from Jason and the Argonauts.
Oh, I wish. It's so fucking bad. Like, don't watch it. It's terrible. Like, the only part of the movie that's good is that well, I guess she's kind of the lead, because that's the other thing. They do the psycho thing where you think that the main girl is like the main character, but then she dies, and then it's about the serial killer who isn't interesting at all. So I guess, haha, I fooled you, audience. I made the least interesting character the main character. Gotcha.
Sounds like Barbarian.
Yeah, actually, I hated that movie too. But no, the only good part of this movie was when pervert TJ got to shine, because the lead actress is super cute, and there's a part where she's in her panties, and that was the only part of the movie I liked, because I was like, oh, look at that. Like, that's pretty great. And also, that actress was in Wolf Cop, which reminded me of a much better movie, which I fucking adore. So,
oh yeah,
shout out to Wolf Cop. That movie fucking rules.
Big ups.
Anyway, so that's all I watched. Do not watch A Wounded Fawn. It was awful. Like, I don't know why I don't know why I didn't turn it off. I watched the whole fucking thing. I should have turned it off. Also, shout out to serial killer who. He's like a I don't know. He's like a, what do you call it? Like he bids on artwork for like rich people or something.
He's a paddle man?
Is there a word for that? Paddleman. Like paddleman is legitimately the word for that?
The guys that sit in the crowd and do this?
Yeah, that's what he is.
Yeah. It's a paddleman.
But he so in the beginning of the movie, he's bidding, because this is how dumb this fucking movie is. There's some sort of Greek, I don't know, there's like three. There's these like three like avenging. I wasn't familiar with the story or whatever.
Is it the Furies?
No, I know the Furies, but it was something like that. Basically, it was these three deity things or whatever you call it, like half deities that like they're all represented by animals, and they kill like murderers. So, like, because this movie is fucking stupid, they have to, like, he literally bids on this piece that's the fucking movie. And, so at the beginning of so he kills this girl that actually, that got this successful bid. That's the first victim of the movie. And then the next girlfriend that he gets is another, like, she runs, like, an art museum. So she, like, understands, like, fucking, art and stuff. So he has this, like, this fucking, this goddamn piece of art, again, that represents these murderers, but it's like pre-antiquity, so it's like incredibly rare or whatever. And she's like, where did you get this? He's like, oh, it's a replica. And it's like, well, it's not, because I fucking know art. Like, and it's like, what? Why would you do that? Like, why would that just be on your fucking dining room table? Like, I don't know, the movie's so bad.
There's only two of them in the world, and I got both them bitches.
No, it's literally that stupid, dude. I like laugh my ass off, because like the rest of his like cabin, his like murder cabin that he has, it's all like presumably, I guess, art that he stole from other people that he murdered, and it's just like, this movie is so dumb. Yeah, so don't watch that. Hold on, real quick. I want to give a shout out to the actress who's hot, but keep going.
Hold on, keep going.
Exactly. To where?
Sarah Lind is the actress who is very hot.
Well, good Sarah, if you're listening, you're hot. Your movie sucks.
Yeah, good job. Good job.
Way to fill up those panties.
Yeah. Well, it's also, she's very, like, it's, never mind.
No, also titties.
Yeah, also titties. The only part of the movie I liked was a fucking terrible movie. Also, like, very like the ending. Oh, I hated everything about this movie.
Wait a minute.
Well, it's called A Wounded Fawn. Of course, it's pretentious. Like,
and she was the connection between this and Wolf Cop. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah, she's in Wolf Cop.
Shout out to Wolf Cop.
Have you seen Wolf Cop? It's amazing.
No, but I really want to. It looks really good.
Dude, watch Wolf.
Oh,
I can't believe you've never watched Wolf Cop. Dude.
It's right up your alley.
He's like pissing in it's great.
Yeah.
I can't believe you haven't seen it.
And his wolf penis explodes out of his regular penis and they show it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. If you don't like Wolf Cop, I don't know who you are as a person. Like, it's amazing.
All right. I'm into, let's go. Let's go Wolf Cop.
It's so good. All right. What did we watch this week, guys? What happened?
We watched.
That's everybody, right? Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we watched Finch.
3-letter review. M-I-D.
Nice. Mid.
Oh, mid.
Yeah.
I can't read.
We watched.
How is that
Finch.
reading?
I wrote it down.
If you read with his mind.
Okay.
Spelling's just mind reading. So, anywho, you're introduced to Finch, who's a guy who drives a big old Komatsu dump truck. Looking
Shout
for
out Komatsu, you guys make a good dump truck.
Quality dump truck. Survived the apocalypse.
That is a sick looking dump truck.
It's a fucking silly dump truck. Where's he? I love it. The guy's CDL. So he's doing a
what
little.
What if he had a BBL?
Better movie.
Imagine Tom Hanks with a BBL.
He's got like this. He's like, I can't escape this solar flare because my cheeks be clapping.
He's got a BBL and a BBC, and they're like, "This is what we're doing now."
That's what we're talking. Hell yeah!
What's going on, robot? You stuck in a dishwasher?
Yeah. And then he gets stuck in a dishwasher. Like he
and then they starve.
Then that's it. Yeah. Everybody dies. So anyway, you introduce this fella, and he's doing a little shopping in his DLC costume, looking for fucking Alpo
costume.
And he's got my favorite robot in the whole movie with him, Dewey. And him and Dewey are looking at corpses and stealing booze. And then they're going back to their windmill house. And their windmill house has all the power in the world before a big storm hits. And they get in and they're like, all right, well, we're going to start doing stuff. So let's take all the books in the world and chop them up. Shout out chopping up books. And then scan them into the brain of this robot. So they start doing that. And he talks to the robot.
Also, it's very important to know that the world has been ravaged by solar flares or the ozone layer or nukes or whatever.
It's solar flares.
I thought he said it's a solar flare.
Yeah, but then didn't he say something later like we did the rest of it or something? I don't know, man.
He basically, and I was going to touch on this, it was not a human caused apocalypse, but the humans didn't react well to it. So he's basically saying how we crumbled in the face of it. We didn't coalesce. We started shooting each other, eating each other.
The fucking ozone layer is a really weird cultural touchstone because that shit was forever ago a problem and hasn't been in years. I understand probably solar flare would do something to it, but
also, I feel like it feels like this is
evaporated it.
It felt like this is a script that maybe was kicked around for a long time. I don't know.
Well, anyway, so he lives in his windmill house and he's making a robot brain. He's got a doggy, and they all are living happily ever after.
He has a dog that's immune to radiation.
Well, he's just done with the dog in the sun, right? Because the dog is probably very not immune to radiation.
I mean, that's not how radiation works. But
that's how UV light.
That's how vampire rules.
Works.
Yeah, it is, but
it's like being in a super tanning bed. I'm not saying
it's stupid.
I'm not saying it's not stupid, but it is how it works.
Right, but I mean, the whole premise is super fucking dumb. And
all I'm saying is
it's you can't it's like a moon thing, right? If it's not going to be interesting and it's like a two-hander and you've got all this shit going on, you better start explaining stuff what's going to happen if this robot runs out of robot juice or whatever. It's just it's really lazy. This entire plot construction is so fucking lazy and there's not enough shit going on in the movie to carry it. And I know you're going to get to it, but I found it to be incredibly boring. It's Short Circuit 2, but maudlin. I don't know. I just didn't care. Anyway.
Well, so anywho, Atticus Finch goes up to the roof and he's like, "Oh shit,
Atticus Finch.
My blades aren't spinning." And so he fixed a circuit to re-engage his windmill house, and then notices the storm from Mad Max is just over the hill, so he's like, "Uh-oh, what a lovely day." And he goes downstairs and asks the brain that he just created how long until the superstorm shows up. And it'll be here within 24 hours. And how long is it going to last? 40 days. And he's like, well, we're boned. So he eats his victory peaches, and then he loads everybody up into his custom RV after he teaches the robot how to walk. And I will say this, the puppeteering, if you could call it that, in this movie, I liked a lot.
I think it's mocap.
It is mocap, but I guess there's a lot of stuff that's it's like mocap with CG over it.
Oh, okay.
I thought that
there was a lot of
the guy from Three Billboards and
yeah.
What's his Banshee and whatever.
I liked it. I thought
Caleb,
yeah.
I thought it gave the robot a lot of
great. I actually, the robot had me questioning if it was CGI half the time, so I was like, well, that's pretty good.
Awesome, but it's like in service, it's weird because it's in this, maybe I'm the only one, right? Like maybe I'm the asshole, but it's fucking all this work and craft in service of this, like, nothing movie. Like, it's weird.
It's got a little bicentennial man in there.
Well, it's so the whole movie, so here's the movie. Like, we gotta get away. All right, cool. Let's learn life lessons on the road. Okay, there's marauders. And there's, we're just gonna plow through it, because who cares, right? I mean, I care, but who cares? They go and look at shit, and then over the time, like, you get, Tom Hanks gets mad at the robot, and then gets happy with the robot, and tells the robot family. The whole movie is just Tom Hanks' character coming to grips.
Pinocchio.
Well, it's Tom Hanks' character coming to grips with his life and the choices he's made to get here and the things that he's done, and the whole thing is just him doing some sort of penance for the things he's never accomplished in his life when he had the time or the opportunity. That's all.
And also, like, you didn't in the plot. He's like obviously sick. Like he's
coughing up blood.
Like he's dying. They do the movie thing where. It's funny. I've actually coughed up blood in my life a couple of times, actually. And movies have trained me so much.
Build a robot about it.
Well, I know what I'm saying. Movies have trained me if somebody coughs up blood, you're just dead. Like it's over. So I remember the first time it happened, I had an ulcer.
Well, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, I mean that is a bug, not a feature.
Yeah,
I'm still here. I'm just saying.
Right. Well, so was he. He made a whole robot. He invented AI. He invented sentience. He is God.
And they yelled at it for trying to fucking improve its drip.
But wasn't Dewey also sentient? Because Dewey seemed pretty sentient.
It's implied that Dewey had some sort of conscience.
Dewey's death scene, spoiler alerts for Finch, was the part that hurt me the most in this whole movie. When that little robot got bear trapped.
So getting into that scene, and this is kind of one of my biggest problems with the movie, and Sean already touched on it. Like, not a whole lot happens, but like, so that scene where they're like, so Tom Hanks is incapacitated in the back of the RV, and the robot decides the robot's name is Phil.
Jeff. My name's Jeff.
Yeah. Also, by the way, did anybody think that the robot sounded like Borat? Like, I never
in the beginning it did, but then it smoothed itself out by the end. Like in the beginning, it was like, my life, and then by the end it was like, hey guys, what's going on?
But anyway, so Jeff decides to go like scavenge because he's trying to like basically impress his dad. And
it's also he was being viewed with the core 3 tenets of robotics.
Yeah, they
Asimov's rules. Yeah.
They Asimoved him, but like by inaction, he can't allow harm to come to another. So he was almost compelled to do it.
But in that scene also, like, he was following all his dad's rules, and he was trying to be
initiative.
Initiative. That's the word. And so anyway, but that scene ends where Tom Hanks like realizes that they're in a trap or whatever. But like so they're in a trap, but the fucking scavengers who you never see. They wait till they leave? Like, why wouldn't they jump him while he was in the fucking van? Like, I didn't understand that at all. I was like, well, that's kind of dumb. Like,
that part was,
So, like, so basically, like, if you're this scavenger and, I don't know, you're presumably like a cannibal or something, like, your
typical scav behavior
was to, I've watched too many post-apocalyptic movies and played too many video games.
Yeah, you know how Wes would do this.
Yeah.
What would Wes do?
I'm not saying John Hillcoat should direct every movie, but I feel like I would have liked it better if he directed this movie. I'm just going to put it out there.
Well, I think the thing is, like, it's getting to my point about this scene, because, like, so this movie is, like, worried about being too scary or harsh. So I think that's why you never see any other people. There's one scene that's pretty brutal, but again, that's literally like at the end of the movie, and it's trying to explain Finch's motivation. But like this scene bothered me because it's like, well, their plan doesn't make any sense. Like, basically, you allow somebody to come in and loot the remainder of your stuff.
Well, the problem with the movie
is, drive away. Like what? Like I don't know. It seemed like you took the teeth out of that scene.
Well, here's the thing: the way the script is constructed is he has to die of cancer at some point in the movie. So like he can't die of anything else because the entire like driving force of the movie is he has to die of whatever super cancer he has. So there's no stakes. Like they're never in any real danger. Like. Give me a ticking clock on Jeff. Like, give me, we got to get him to Who's a Fudge to power him back up, or so, there's no like, no,
ultimately, that's a good point. Well, from Jump Street, 3 things are going to happen. They're not killing the dog.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks is gonna die.
Yeah.
And the robot's probably going to be fine. Like, those are like the 3 things. Dewey was the only character where you didn't know what was going to happen from the beginning, and so when he died, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
The other thing is, like, I mean, I get the idea that they had to pack up and, like, go away or whatever, but, like, really, like, the motivation, because, like, in the middle of the movie, he's like, Tom Hanks is like, I'm gonna die. I mean, again, as the audience, you already know. But, like, the robot's whole job is to take care of the dog, but, like...
Well, but his rules also basically... He set up Skynet. Like, he basically gave the 3 rules to not hurt humanity, but the one rule that supersedes all rules is protect dog. So,
it'd be funny if the dog tried to attack Tom Hanks and the robot had a fucking shit fit and killed both of them or something. Like,
that's an interesting take.
That's like the Harlan Ellison version of the story.
Or the dog realized what kind of power it wields.
Pause real quick. Sean, I watched this TikTok that this guy just watches old, like, 90s VHS tapes that people taped off TV.
Yeah.
And there was a fucking car ad, like a Ford, or no, who made Geo?
Chevy. Geo company. And then Chevy bought it.
So anyway, it was a Harlan Ellison Geo commercial, which is the most surreal thing I've ever seen.
What fucking bag of stepped-on coke was somebody doing? It's like, you know what? It'll sell Geo Storms, besides their solar paint job, is noted crank sci-fi writer, 200-year-old Harlan Ellison.
It
would work on me.
It was so funny. Sorry, I had to bring it up. I thought it was the funniest thing.
I have no horn, but I must honk.
Come down to our big Saturday sale at Harlan Ellison's Geo outlet.
Good time.
Watch him.
Anyway,
he signs autographs like a baseball player. He's just sitting there. He just signs pictures of James Cameron. He's like, fuck this guy.
I want to get him to sign my Geo Storm.
Geo Storm. Cool card, bad movie.
Wait, say that one more time.
He stole Terminator. Like, Harlan Ellison fucking hated James Cameron because
and he sued his penis off.
Yeah, there's some story.
So Harlan Ellison wrote Terminator?
He wrote a story that's like
he wrote two like Outer Limits episodes. It's Saturday and The Glass Hand. You know how all like good sci-fi from the 70s, 80s have like titles that make no sense. Yeah,
they're awesome though.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, sorry. This movie is kind of boring.
So basically, they're going to San Francisco. They want to see a bridge. You find out that Tom Hanks never met his real dad. You found out why he's repenting. You find out why this dog means so much to him. Like, and they're having their like road trip, and there's eventually Tom Hanks, like he's sort of they get to a part of the world that is not actively being ravaged by UV light.
So he dresses up like Lou Bega.
No, he looked. You know what he looked like?
Just like Dick Wolf. Or no,
he looked like his character in The Lady Killers. You remember that fucking movie? Like, he had the whole white suit and everything.
Of all places to not be like full of sun poisoning, California. But I don't. Whatever, solar flares. I get it. Cool.
I mean, I guess like there's a thing where I don't know. This is going to be a weird point of comparison. And again, I think we've talked about this movie a lot, and I don't know how it holds up anymore. But I always liked in Requiem for a Dream where those characters are like fucking down and out and on like a death spiral, but they were always like, if we could just get to Florida, like Florida would be better. And it's like, it's not. And again, like,
Well,
I want
same
this
thing
movie
with
to have
Fury
more.
Road, right?
I want this movie to have more teeth, right? Like, and because I always do, because I'm a miserable person. But like, to me, like, it's like, well, we get to California and then everything's great. And it's just like, okay, so what? Like, what? You know what I mean? Like, I felt like this movie, it needed like, God, you mentioned earlier that it's like a road trip movie, and it kind of is, but there's no stops on the road trip.
Yeah.
You know, there's no like adventure. It's not like a role playing game where you meet new characters along the way. It's like
it's a road. It's like it. Yeah, it's just like it's literally just being on a car ride with a robot. Like it's just.
I just wish there more. I wish you had more interaction. I wish you had more conflict. Maybe like you don't even have to make it like dark. Like it's fine. It's not dark. It's like a family movie, but like. I don't know, give me something. Like, I like Sean's idea with the ticking clock on the robot. At least that gives you something. Or, like, I like the idea of introducing Tom Hanks having the cancer, right? But then maybe he dies some other way. Like, maybe he dies by a mistake that Jeff makes. And then it becomes more of Jeff's story. That to me is
And then Jeff's just trying to build Tom Hanks out of fucking spare meat parts. Or other spare things.
That's amazing. Yeah, then it turns into
it's like Reanimator.
I just had a realization that we watched 2 Tom Hanks movies with road trips with sons. So maybe this is just like, what he did.
Yeah, and they're of equal quality.
Right.
Stuff happens in road trips.
Well, in this case, Jude Law is the atmosphere.
But there's more, there's more, like, in that movie, you can specifically, like, the road trip, there's things there's bumps along the way, right?
Yeah.
And there's, even when it's not the action-based stuff in Road to Perdition, like, there's the scene where he goes to Stanley Tucci, and there's that, like, standoff, and it's just them talking, but, like, it's something, you know what I mean? It's there's that small scene in the diner where, something's picking up on your end, Sean.
Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Basketball.
You're fine. Everybody loves basketball. Shooty hoops. It's from some South Park episode. It always cracks me up. Shooty hoop. There's that scene in the diner where, like, they talk about the money that the kid could get. And then, of course, Jude Law shows up. And, like, my point is that it's not just them going from, like, where they were to the beach house. You know, that's kind of what this movie is. Like, I need steps along the way. Like, the scene where Jeff goes and scavenges, that's, like, partly there. Or, like, the earlier scene where Tom Hanks and Jeff have to deal with that, like, tornado that comes out of nowhere. Like, that was interesting. Like, I kind of liked, and there's so many parts of this movie where I feel like there's, like, a good movie scratching at the surface.
Well, it's bad when the most exciting thing that happens in the movie is they're doing fucking Jiffy Pop. And I'm like, oh, that's cute. That's something.
Mm-hmm. What I was going to say is, like, when they do when they change the tire and they do they do the tie downs to avoid the tornado or whatever, like Tom Hanks realizes Jeff is, like, freakishly strong because he's like a super robot.
Well, he built him kind of like the spec, right?
Yeah. But I kind of like the idea that, like, Jeff doesn't understand, like, what he's capable of, and maybe he does something. You know what I mean? Like, that.
Are you in a mice and men him?
Yeah, like he crushes the dog.
Well, I just want, give me something. I don't care.
Like, nothing happens in this movie. Like, you are just waiting for Tom Hanks to die of cancer. Like, you know what, like, you've seen this movie 1,000 times. Like,
yeah, I just feel like, and at certain points, I kind of like the low stakes of the story.
Right.
Like, I like the fact that it's a post-apocalyptic movie about 3 characters, basically.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But my problem is that you don't interact with the world enough to care all that much, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
But you've seen like this character arc how many times now in fucking both Short Circuits and Chappie and go on and on and on and on. And it's like, it's not really bringing anything.
Yeah. Or a game I just played, Lies of P, which is kind of about this. Great game.
Or
that's fantastic.
Detroit, Become Human, or whatever. Like, I
never played that game. Is that good? That's a David Cage game.
That David Cage. I don't know. I liked Indigo Prophecy, and that's about it from David Cage.
What's that? I liked Heavy Rain, but I kind of like it in spite of itself because it's so stupid. But, like, yeah. I never played Beyond Human. I think I have it because I think Sony gave it away for free at some point, but I never got around to playing it.
Press X for Jason.
Did they make that one with
Elliot Page?
Elliot Page.
Yeah.
It's called Ethan Page. Ethan. I had the Tom Cruise character stuck in my head. Did you ever play that? The Two Souls? I heard that was pretty good.
Nah, like it's not a game, and the narratives aren't good enough to be movies, so it's like this weird mid ground that I'm not like overly interested in.
I did like that one. Gox, what's that one that's like a horror game? That's not David Cage.
The Quarry?
No, the one before that.
Until Dawn.
The sequel. Until Dawn. You ever play that, Sean?
Yeah.
That game
No,
rocks.
no. I played Condemned Criminal Origins, though.
No, that game rocks. No, you should play Until Dawn. It's like an interactive horror movie. Anyway, let's get into Five Knuckle Shuffles. We're talking about all kinds of shit. Unless we have anything else to add to this movie. I
want to say, I don't hate it apparently as much as you two hated it.
I don't hate it. I just don't.
I didn't hate it. Okay.
I did not hate it.
It's not without its problems.
I didn't love it, but I didn't I wasn't angry watching it.
But somebody said Bicentennial Man, and that's Zemeckis too, right? Or is that no? It's what's his nuts?
It's Chris Columbus.
Chris Columbus, but it's the same thing. It's I'm sad because the guy dies, but it's manipulative, you know what I mean, in the most schmaltzy kind of way. And it's well, of course you're sad because it's there's a dog and a sad robot boy, and no shit. But I don't think it earned it. It's just I'd be sad if my dad died too. The movie.
Yeah, and I feel like ultimately the movie doesn't really have a resolution. I feel like where they go is kind of boring, and again, I get it, I don't know. I just feel and I feel like this for the whole movie. I just feel like there's so much more you could do with this, and they just, I don't know, they're not really interested or capable of going anywhere else. But I don't know. It's just the end of the movie is just him and the dog walk away, and it's just okay, now, I don't know. It's just I for some reason I'm brought to I think about something Robert Kirkman said, his whole modus operandi for fucking Walking Dead, right, was he loves zombie movies, but he always wanted the story 10 minutes after the movie, the credits rolled, right?
Yeah.
I think about that a lot, because that's an interesting way to start a thought process for a story, right? But what's 10 minutes after this movie? Just the dog and the robot walking some more. You know what I mean? It's it. There's nothing more to tell. I don't know. It's just, there's nothing to it.
Well, I mean,
anyway.
The world's first functioning AI stumbling upon
everybody's
an enclave of humans.
Yeah.
I think I should have left with the hope that at the end,
and the humans just face fuck the robot to death.
Right.
Oh yeah.
They're not shooting that thing on sight, right? They're just.
Oh, I wonder if there's. Is there Rule 34 for Jeff? I gotta look that up.
Sure.
I'm looking that up right now.
So there's
also shout out to fucking what's his fucking name?
Rule
the
34?
voice of the voice of Jeff. I love that guy.
Yeah.
Caleb, whatever. He's great.
Yeah.
I think that dude rocks. He is in a movie that I love that 4 people have seen called Antiviral. It's Brandon Cronenberg's first movie. I fucking love it. Yeah. I love that movie.
He's also in Twin Peaks: The Return.
He's really good in that. Yes. Yeah. The Return, one of the best fucking things ever put on TV. I said
maybe the best limited series ever.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
I wish, it's a shame that Lynch hasn't done anything since, because man, that was fucking good.
He's good, man. He can just go out on top. I mean, I like salad, but Jesus Christ. That's still the best thing he ever did.
It's so good. This guy, he started talking about Star Wars and all the aliens.
Look, if I had the worst fucking headache, I had to call my lawyer. It's there's no way I could do this shit.
Oh, God. For somebody that makes such weird movies, he's so,
normal.
He just seems like such a cool guy.
And George, he took me to this restaurant, and all they served was salad. And I like salad. Jesus Christ.
Scott, have you ever seen that interview where
Yeah, I have. It's great.
It's so funny. All right, 5 Knuckle Shuffle time. Oh yeah, he had 3 billboards. How did I forget about that?
He was also in First Class.
Yeah, he's Banshee.
Yeah, he was Banshee.
He's the sign maker in 3 Billboards.
Man,
where he gets hoofed out the window. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That movie rocks.
Yup.
Oh, he's also in, let's just keep talking about Caleb, Landry or whatever his fucking name is. He's in, the Safdie Brothers movie, God Knows What, which is, he's amazing.
The
drug
heroin.
addict.
I haven't seen that. Is it good?
It's incredible. It's on the Plex. I highly recommend it.
Is it Heaven Knows Why?
Heaven Knows Why. That's it.
Yeah.
Heaven Knows Why. It's so
also, your collection of movies, which includes like 12 episodes of the Bubblegum Crisis. I'm like, that's not a movie. That's a show.
I know. I have to recategorize. It was in a weird file.
No, it's all good.
We
gotta watch The Creator or whatever.
Yeah, it's on there. It looked interesting. So
and Rebel Moon. Anyway, pick a name.
That's coming. Gogs.
Yeah.
So you want me to go? Or you want me to give you Alex review?
Oh yeah,
here's Alex review.
All right. His favorite part was the science.
Okay, fair.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah,
it was queued up nicely. No,
I think I would have asked him if robotics was his
right. Yeah. What was was RV maintenance your favorite part? Also,
real quick, what was the point of the solar panels? Because everything functioned after they got destroyed off the top of the van anyway. So why?
I don't know. That part bothered me a little bit because I was like, oh,
I thought they were fucked. I thought that. Yeah, I thought that they. Yeah.
Old Finchy was going to hang up the spurs then and there, but.
Yeah, but they were fine. Nothing changed. I was like, oh, okay, so that was stupid. Why even have it? Like, why even have that happen? Because it didn't matter.
Because it was probably in a different version of the script.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right.
All right, so imagine this in Alec voice.
You guys are
shut up, idiots. I love Finch. It's got 3 of my favorite things: Tom Hanks, robots, and dogs. And thrown into a post-apocalyptic dystopian setting. I thought Tom Hanks was great. The dog was adorable. The robot was really good. The voice of the robot was Allison Williams' brother from Get Out, the one obsessed with MMA.
Oh yeah, he was in that too. Shit.
He's also in the Hunger Games movie and was in Billboard Rental Guy from 3 Billboards.
New Hunger Games movie.
The new one, the prequel that they're putting out.
Yeah. Oh no.
I thought the story was good. The effects were good. Tom Hanks can act with anything, and we've seen him time and time again. As we've seen time and time again, the robot looked cool and did cool robot stuff.
I mean, he's right about that.
10 from Alec.
Oh, are you seriously?
100%. I'll see you the screenshot if you don't believe me.
I need him to sign it, and I want it notarized.
So that's Alec.
A 10, huh?
Alec loved Finch.
Huh.
A 10.
Full-blown 2-digit banger.
Yikes. I don't know about that one. I mean, I do agree with his points, though. The dog was cute. The robot was awesome. Like, I get all that.
So I'll do mine. I'm giving it a 7.
Oh, very high.
Yeah.
I thought I enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it. It is a little slow and boring, but it pulled on heartstrings. I felt bad for Tom Hanks. I liked the puppetry, if you could call whatever it was. Every time the robot would do one of these and then like bop his head around like with his fingers, I was like, that's just like what a Muppet would do.
Yeah. Funny point of comparison, but did anybody else when he kept doing this? I was reminded of Jericho Kane from Southland Tales because
that was a tick. That was different. That was
a direct reference.
But like I don't know, his fingers did that a lot, and I was
Dogs loves movie magic. Turns out.
I do.
I mean, I will say that the robot looked great.
Yeah, the robot was great.
Yeah.
The part where the dog food gets sucked into his chest and he figures out he's been built with a can opener.
I like the design of the robot.
The robot looking great in this movie is the fucking movie equivalent of the Rush Hour Blu-ray cover that we reference constantly.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it's what we've seen before, but, I'm a sentimental sap, so it works for the old Gogs. And I like robots and dogs, so what are we going to do? TJ, I want this to end on Sean.
Well, it's funny that you say that you're a sentimental sap, because I am the opposite. I am a miserable curmudgeon, and, like, I just am averse to these, like, very safe... Like this movie, again, like I feel like there's good elements to this movie, and I feel like the overall
put it in the Patient First collection.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is, right? Like I feel like it's like
if Hallmark made The Road.
Well, there's ideas here, and I like the themes. Like, one of my favorite movies in the last, 10 years is I'm Thinking About Ending Things, and ostensibly that is a movie about a man that, never lived up to his full potential and is, at the end of his life. And that's kind of what this movie's about. And as someone that feels like I'm very close to that, I relate to that story arc, and it's something I enjoy, and I feel like that is here, but this movie is without, real sadness, and it's without any kind of, and not every movie needs to be the fucking road, right? But, there's no drama or tension or.
But how can you not compare it to that when, it's so evocative of same, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well,
they filled the pool, right? So.
Yeah.
You gotta swim in it.
I mean, even the apocalypse is the same, almost.
But that's what I'm saying. I just feel like this is the safest. This movie went out of its way to not be offensive or to just. This is the most Nachos Flanders style kind of post-apocalyptic movie that you could make. And again, I don't disagree with anything Alex said. Tom Cruise is a very good actor. But I agree with Sean, what he said in the beginning, the shtick is kind of run a little old. We came off a Road to Perdition where he's kind of playing off character in that movie.
Yeah.
And his acting is fantastic because, you don't think of Tom Hanks as a fucking mob heavy, but he's amazing in it. But, this kind of character that he's played, a bunch of times already, it's kind of the only character he plays anymore in these, later stage movies. It's just getting kind of stale. And this movie, again, that's all you really got. The robot is great. I love the robot. I think the robot's great. I love everything about the robot. I thought the effects to bring the robot, like I said earlier, the robot had me questioning whether or not it was actually built or CGI half the time, which if you can put that in my head, then you've made a great special effect.
When Tom Hanks hugs it and you can tell he's
it looks so
interacting
good.
with it. It looks really good.
And he bleeds on it, so you know that he's dying.
Yeah,
that's important.
Yeah,
there's a scene where he's fixing Jeff, and it looked really good. I loved how he moved. I loved his voice. I liked how, and like God said, it was actually one of the more subtle things that this movie did. The fact that as he's learning, he's talking less and less like Borat. I don't know, there's a lot to like about this movie, but then then there's the non-existent plot, and it's just kind of it's so A to B, it just puts you to sleep. So yeah, this is a 5 for me. I mean, this is something I'm just not going to remember at all. It's just going to fade away. It's a shame, and it like I said, it does have a little bit of the Bicentennial Man to it, but it's not as egregious because it's not as long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like it's just a lot of wasted potential. You know what I mean? That's how I feel about it.
If Sean gives it a 3, would that mean nope? The math's all wrong on that. Never mind. I thought we were all 2 away from each other. This might be the most spanning range of scores we have, depending on what Sean's about to give it.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 2.
Go ahead, Sean.
I thought it was really incredibly boring. It's it's hard to be mad at the craft of the robot because I think we can all agree, objectively, that effect is amazing, right? I'm not going to argue
incredible.
that.
Yeah.
And the performance of it is good. But there's been so many movies where it's, a two-hander with a robot, or Moon I mentioned earlier. I Am Mother's a two-hander with a robot.
Oh man, I forgot all about that movie.
Yeah,
that movie's
I Am
good
Mother's
as hell.
fucking great.
Even Ex Machina is 3 characters. You know what I mean? You can make a small stakes movie with huge ramifications and have it be very interesting, but there's nothing really Tom Hanks doesn't really. He doesn't have an arc, which, I mean, not every movie the character has to have an arc, right? Jeff has a very simple arc. He's a baby and then he's a teenage robot. Tom Hanks has cancer. That's his arc. And there's a dog. Okay, cool. And I love robots and dogs. But it's just this same old, my name is Otto. I don't know what point. I don't know if it was Catch Me If You Can, where he starts on this weird old man slide, but it's not interesting.
I think he's pretty charismatic in Catch Me If You Can.
He's good, but like that, I feel like that's the beginning of. I think Jeff Bridges is great in fucking True Grit, but like it portends things to come. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like it's Set of a Woman for Pacino. Like that from that point on, this is all we're getting.
And the thing that's really kind of inexcusable about how boring this movie is and safe is that it's not a theatrically released movie. It was for a streaming service, so fucking go nuts. You know what I mean? Make something interesting.
But it is like Apple, which is like, you know what I mean?
But they give that shit away with your fucking cell phone contract. They don't give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. I also, like, I don't know this for a fact, but I wouldn't be surprised if, you know how, like, I brought it up a million times, but you know how, like, Will Smith had his fucking, like, people that would, like, doctor his scripts because they weren't Will Smith enough?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tom Hanks has a similar thing, because, like, his movies all kind of have that same kind of tone, and I mean, or maybe that's specifically what he looks for, but
maybe
I also
looked at around him.
Yeah,
well, he's also an old man now, so like,
I mean, but you can be like, I mean, this is like, you know, I Am Legend, not the movie, but the book is about a fucking old man at the end of the world, and it's insanely compelling and awesome. And The Road is about an old man at the end of the world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you can be an old man at the end of the world.
Hugh Jackman's Marriage, you know, like, it's, like, you can
I mean, like, I know we brought The Road up a bunch, but that is a fucking powerhouse movie and a great book.
And it's not like a ton of shit happens. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like a nonstop it's not like Book of Eli or something.
Right.
Like, you just like, I don't feel like you know enough about Tom Hanks, and I feel like it's to the detriment of the movie, because it's like, what else do you have?
Well, I was kind of hoping that the reveal would be more profound than he was just, I just needed to be alone. Like, I don't,
there's no real conflict with Jeff's, like, character arc, and it wraps up very quickly and neatly, you know what I mean? He doesn't really stumble a whole lot, like TJ brought up. He does that one thing that he gets sort of pissed about, but he was just doing the shit that he taught him to do anyway, so, like, what is the conflict here? Like, I'm not
also,
interested.
they get away and it's fine. Like, you know, at one point, like, Tom Hanks pulls out the gun and you're like, oh shit, but they get away. And again, like, the big consequence of that scene was that, you know, they go to an underpass that's too short, and because of Tom Hanks, because he freaks out, and it destroys all their solar panels, but that literally is never brought up to the rest of the movie. Yeah. And it's like, so nothing happened. Like, it doesn't
also,
matter.
like, don't you think Tom Hanks probably should have told him that the fucking can opener was in his chest? Like, why was that, like, a moment of discovery? Did I just miss something? Especially when his primary function is to take care of that dog.
Feed the dog. Yeah.
Also, that dog would be riddled with cancer. I don't understand.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a stupid setup.
Like, I mean,
if I'm doing work for it, it's like trying to ham-handedly say, this is the extent that someone would go to try and make amends cosmically.
I mean, no, I get that, but like the whole premise is like incredibly flawed, and there's not enough moving parts for it to be this sloppy.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I mean, I feel like,
and I love Alec, but I just don't like this movie.
It almost works better if the dog dies too. Like and like the robot's just left,
or just rips the dog in half. He's like, "Fuck that dog, son."
I mean, the dog will die.
Like, oh no, I fed him all those Michael Vick SI articles.
Anyway, all right. Well, that's Finch. Also, terrible title. I hate the title.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting the robot to also be named Finch, and then it would be confusing.
Sean brought up earlier, like old 70s sci-fi had like the greatest titles that made no sense to the story. Give me one of those. Like, you know, The Eye Looks Two Ways or something like that.
The Three Stigmata of Palmer Eldritch. What's that about? How much time you got? Okay, it's about this guy that makes tiny replica dolls for colonists on Mars. Like, also, anyway. Give me that movie, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I do think this is probably our wildest score differential.
What's the movie? Well, guy makes a robot. Okay, I'm with you. Protects his dog. Okay, great. Then what happens? They drive.
It just kind of ends.
And then it just kind of ends.
Yeah. He has slight trouble driving, but then immediately can drive fine. Like, I don't know.
The dog's like scared of him, but then he's not scared of him. But that all goes pretty quick too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, there's no conflict in this movie at all.
Like, how much better would the movie be if the dog, like, here's my movie, right? Here's the missed ending of the movie. Tom Hanks dies. Everybody thinks everything's okay. He takes the dog to play fetch, and the dog just runs away.
Oh.
I mean, that's a better movie. I mean, that
runs right into a wall of flames.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just runs off, and then the robot is stuck chasing this dog for eternity.
Yeah. And then the movie could be titled "What the Dog Doing."
What the dog doing?
Yes, no, what the dog doing, or do he?
All right.
Jeff was kicked out of the theater for eating beans.
That's Finch. Sean, I believe it's your pick next week.
What did I say last week? I forget.
I don't remember. Please don't pick Philadelphia like God.
Weren't you doing Charlie Wilson's War?
Yeah, but I know that might be kind of dry. Let's do
Bachelor
Saving
Party.
Private Ryan's fucking long.
No, we're not doing Saving Private Ryan.
Do Bachelor Party. Come on.
Let's do versus the Volcano.
Let's do the Lady Killers. The best Coen Brothers movie, since I forgot all about that and you brought it up. Well, you should have kept your mouth shut. Yeah. So that's where we're at now.
One of us owns that on DVD. I think Gogs does.
It was Alex.
I've never seen it.
Oh, wow. It's terrible. It's the worst Coen Brothers movie by far.
Well, I'm going to find out, I guess.
All right, Lady Killers next week. You get to see Tom Hanks play fucking Colonel Sanders, basically, in that movie. All right, everybody. That's the show. Build your robot.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, this show will probably be up either right before Thanksgiving or on Thanksgiving. So
enjoy it with the family around the table.
Yeah.
Cough up
as
blood.
You die of cancer.
Yeah.
All right.
Use the bones of the turkey. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
All right, bye-bye.